Welcome everyone to another Audi Centre Sydney Blue Water Pointscore series. We start this weekend with the 88 nautical mileage in Islip. I think we have 31 participants still in various divisions. That should be a great hit out for you. Quite an interesting way down. This is also a compulsory briefing and will be recorded, and you can actually get copies of it a bit later this evening for those who can't make the meeting itself. This evening you're going to hear from two people: the race committee chair, Lee Goddard, and race committee member David Kellett. I haven't seen Mark Pavlada yet, but he should be here as well. Lee's going to brief you on the sailing instructions and other matters, and David's going to brief you on the communication structure and some changes to it from the previous years. Could I call Lee Goddard up and people start with the sailing instructions? Thank you.
Thank you, Commodore Arthur, and good to be here at the CYCA on a warm evening. As of course, this weather will play a factor on the weekend, and no doubt we're going to see very interesting weather over the next 2 or 3 months as it now been declared. I'm Lee Goddard, chair of the Blue Water Pointscore Committee, and this, as Arthur said, is the compulsory briefing. It's race 2 of 6 of the actual series, following the very successful Noakes Sydney to Gold Coast yacht race, which of course was held about 6 weeks ago, actually a couple of months ago now. Race is on. We've got 31 entrants for this 88 nautical mile race on the weekend. But this brief does cover the Blue Water Pointscore race series. Acknowledge the Commodore, of course, the CYCA. Also, if they not they would necessarily be listening in, but all those who actually assist us, such as AMSA, obviously the Marine Services, the Water Police, the media. But most importantly, of course, I acknowledge the competitors. And it's very important that you are at the centre of all our thinking to make sure that we, as a committee, as volunteers, ensure it's the safest race possible, it's the fairest race possible, and of course it's the fastest race possible. Fortunately, the conditions we expect to be quite light this weekend. I'm also joined, of course, by David Kellett, who is the deputy chair, and the third member of the committee for this weekend will be Mark Pavlard, some of you will know quite well. We have broad range of backgrounds in our committee and also our management teams, and just want to state again, we're risk aware, not risk adverse. Offshore sailing is risky, but we said we make it safe, we make it fair, and we make it as fast as possible with the maximum participation. That said, while we are fair, we are black and white in terms of expectations and within race discipline to make sure the race is managed correctly, and that those who do participate do so with a very clear directions as set out in the sailing instructions and the rules. And I thank all owners and participants for their cooperation and their regulatory compliance. A couple of years on now for COVID, we're doing this very well in collaboration, and just want to acknowledge that from the sailing office. Also want to again state the discipline of the SCED. Communication. It's really critical. I ask all owners and in particular skippers and crews to think through your contingency plans and make sure you're prepared for the full range of emergencies and assume the worst conditions. We do learn from precedents and we adapt to the changing regulations. And we do evolve. It's not set and forget. So please think about some of the changes to some of the rules. Think about some of the things that might be different in the sailing instructions, and think about some of the different kind of emergency situations that we're now experiencing from time to time. As you know, sailing instructions have been published. I'll remind you a few things from those. You must have the correct but minimum requirements for safety numbers at all times on your boat. And this is often an area which isn't great. It's black and white, but can be misinterpreted. Any crew change during the race must be advised and acknowledged by the sailing office. Please note the advice on potential hazardous navigation. We'll come to whales and other things shortly, but just please note that. Reporting at the start, allow the fleet room as you approach the committee vessel on VHO 72, and also your consideration while manoeuvring. 31 starters, but that said, it always, as you know, can be not chaotic, but certainly it can be challenging depending on the conditions. The PRO will advise line clear and may individually recall, and he will or she will do that, or he will advise by VHF. Mind you, if you do decide to discontinue racing off and offload crew and then restart, you must still have the minimum number of crew required and the full safety qualifications as well with those crew. Declarations must be made in the cases outlined in the selling instructions within the time limit for lodging a protest. Please ensure if you do that you receive a receipt. Radio instructions, David Cullen will oversee the radio structure for this race, and he'll brief that shortly. Please, though, as you know, ensure you maintain a continuous listen watch for VHF channel 16. That's an enduring requirement, and as you will be well aware, we take that very seriously. Skeds, David will go through the details. Of course, we conduct flights daily, and you'll note from David that the structure has changed from 2022. So please ensure you've read your sailing instructions with regard to the 0635 and the 1835 skeds. But I'll let David go through that. Mind you, your position must be accurately charted at 0630 and 1830 each day. If you have a problem reporting a sced, make every effort by VHF or satellite phone or through another vessel or race control or myself or Tara by mobile. We will answer. I know, because I've just been to the UK and even though I was involved in the Lion Island race, I seem to get a lot of phone calls on the weekend. So that's fine. I was at the rugby at the time, but I've managed to talk it through. You must at all times keep a proper listening watch on VHF channel 16 and report wind strengths and wave heights when wind strength exceeds 40 knots. I don't think we'll get that this weekend, but I don't want us to be complacent because we'll just see. Something about this season and this year with these conditions and these this change, and we are due for some some tough conditions at some stage. That's the reality of offshore sailing. If you do retire, please continue to participate in the skeds and advise when informed. I know this is a shorter race, 88 nautical miles, but we don't be complacent. We apply the same consistent procedures and thinking in every race. At the start, the media will be close to racing action, as you expect, and this will be on a non-interference basis, and there may be some movements between some boats. Reminders to all crews, and particularly our two-handed crews, regarding personal safety equipment. Of course, with two-handed, with less people on board, there's less redundancy for equipment. And please ensure you've considered this. Please ensure you're knowledgeable in all the functionality of all your personal equipment, as well as test and service your equipment regularly. Obviously, different PLVs may communicate and activate success or not differently. And we want to make sure that there is a well understood understanding of all that equipment. All personal equipment should be tested and serviced at regular intervals. I know it's trite to say that, but there are people who don't test and service at regular intervals. Please check your PFDs, inadvertent triggering of EPIRBs and PLVs. I had to say it is a reality of these races, but please ensure you maintain and take good care of all your personal equipment. And if you do have an EPIRB or PLV activated, it needs to be reported. And certainly, you may not be aware of it. We'll get in touch with you as soon as possible. Man overboard, obviously good VHF communications, external communications, early broadcasts, life-saving devices that deal with your circumstances, and we are ready to help. Sea life. There's lots of dolphins out there, some fish, and there's a lot of whales out there that some of us have personally experienced, particularly during the Brisbane Hamilton Island yacht race. But it's going to be a reality of offshore sailing in Australian waters, and it's going to increase more. So just be conscious of that. And some of you would have experienced it, but deaccelerating after hitting a whale at 20 knots is like a car crash without a seatbelt on, and you need to be ready for it. Maintain a good lookout, as I said before. Taking that notice of the general notices, make sure your paperwork is correct. Again, I want to thank the sailing office, led by Tara and of course Andrea. Race committee, we're all volunteers. You've got a lot of volunteers in Australia, so I always say thank the volunteer. They do that because actually they care and they like supporting you, the participants in the race. So that's their agenda. Nothing more, nothing less. So race is on. We're going to make sure it's safe, it's fair, and it's fast. I get back to that fair as well. I just want to remind people of that. It's about precedence. When we actually do make decisions, there's black and white rules. I will use my discretion, but it's based on precedence and what we as a committee think is fair. That's the most important thing, and consistent across the race. I'll now, a reminder that this briefing will be recorded and available online after the briefing. Of course, there's a compulsory requirement. I'll now hand over to Dave Keller, the Deputy Chair of the Race Committee, and the Communications Team Leader will brief on the communication structure. Over to you, David. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you, folks. Following the Gold Coast race, where we had a very successful trial of texting positions with a record of about 98% of most skeds, it was very satisfying. So we have made, or the sailing committee has made the decision that the morning sked, the 0635 sked, will be on text, and that will be your position at 0630. Once the 0635 texts have been sent, you'll receive a return text within an hour of the fleet positions. If we don't receive a text from you, you'll probably get a phone call, shorter races mobile, longer races sat phone, from the sailing office. They are compulsory texts, so it is treated as if it was an HF or a VHF text position report. So it's compulsory. So there will be penalties applied if we think people are not complying. For the shorter long races, the 1835 sked will still be conducted on VHF Channel 6 through the good officers of Marine Rescue New South Wales through their VHF system up at Terry Hills. So the morning sked 0635 text, the evening sked 1835 on VHF 6. For the cabbage tree race, we will continue to use HF for those yachts in the Rolex Sydney Hobart yacht race, so you can get your sign off for the HF system. If you don't do the cabbage tree race, you will need to get the sign off from the HF through Marine Rescue in the normal process that will be part of the sailing, part of the notice of race for the Hobart. So all the races, 0635 and 1835, for the shorter longs, mornings will be text, evenings will be VHF, and for cabbage tree, HF. So happy to answer any questions you might have. Yes, sir.
David, after we send out text, how long, even at 0635, how long can we expect to get a response saying?
Within an hour. But I'm sure if the office hasn't received it, you'll get a phone call before that.
Clarify, cabbage tree will be HF morning and evenings?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you talking text? Are you talking mobile text versus sat text, or don't you care?
Either. As long as you get a text away to the number that the club have, which will be in your notice race or sailing instruction. Doesn't matter which system you use.
Is there any event that would lead to people being communicated by text from the sailing office?
Probably we would make a call first. If the call failed, then we would try text. We did find in the Hobart race last year that sat phone is notoriously unreliable in Bass Strait and down the Tassie coast because of the positioning of the satellites. And we found that text was a lot better to communicate with when we had a boat without a rudder. But initially we would, if we need to contact you, we will try VHF. We will try other boats to contact you and we will try your sat phone.
Chemistry is going to be HF for both skids. There'll also be the text skid and the waterman.
Yes, I think we'll keep that going as a practice.
We're gonna text and HF.
Sorry, what was that one?
We're gonna text and HF.
Yeah, text in the morning. It just keeps the practice going, I think that is a good practice. And on your text, don't worry about whether you're north or south, we'll know whether you're going north or south. Okay, any more questions? All right, thanks folks, I'll speak to you at 18:35 on Saturday evening. Have a good day.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Lee, for yours and for yours, David, as well, the report. So really great. Good luck, enjoy the race, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.